Yeah, hello everyone. We are live with beautiful people here, authors. We had great experience together. My special thanks to Selena, Daphne, Christy. They really helped me to get this book done. And be with us till the end. We're gonna have great conversation today. The gap. Okay. The gap actually is collective work of us. We are healthcare practitioners, and we do some of us do functional medicine, some of us do some spiritual work, and some of us are medical doctors. I just try to have this conversation with you because this is my purpose. When I was struggling with pregnancy, I was introduced to this great word of integrative medicine. I didn't believe it before, and I just thought that with the medication, IVF, IUI, everything is going to be okay, but it was not. And then in the middle of the fertility journey, I just realized is not only about the physical body. We are mind, we are spirits, and everything should be sort of connected together. So that was my purpose to write this book. And for fertility journey, I had another book, Naturally Conceived. We had a really great success on that book, and we had great uh, collaboration. And this time I thought we're going to talk about chronic disease because I thought even with the fertility, we have some long term problem that is not going to be addressed. And that's why we have Selena, Christy, and Dr. Daphne today. We had other authors, but they may join us today, but they may not because they have appointments. They are medical doctors and very busy with their work. Welcome to book launch. Dr. Daphne here. We're going to go through everybody and introduce them to you, and then we continue asking questions.
Hi, I guess it's on me right now. So I am a conventionally emergency medicine trained physician, and I have practiced over 25 years in the emergency room. And my clinical and personal experiences has prompted me to actually look into more avenues of training because what I have seen have have actually been said, and I have noticed that conventional medicine has been lacking in some aspects of helping people with chronic illnesses. I have been in a journey of through trainings with A4M, American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and breathwork and many other avenues. And through the journey, I met Pantea. It was a great occasion to have met you and being able to be part of this book. So currently, I'm actually emergency medicine physician turned anti-aging doctor, taking care of helping middle-aged, overachieving women help them with their weight issues and help them regain their energy, maybe reverse some years and feel better. So
You
that's
know, I love Daphne because she talked about breath work, right? And my problem was breath. All the time I had asthma issues. And then with my fertility journey, I just realized even with the fertility, you need to control your breath and you need to cure your asthma. It's really, everything in our body is just connected to each other, and that's the point. I just want to bring the awareness to this world because I know people paying a lot of money in different clinics. They are not aware of their power to heal, and they don't know if to find the missing puzzle of their uh, problem. They may actually have a better opportunity to their health. So with Selena, again, I had a lot of similarities I can I can talk about, because she also had some fertility issues, and the interesting thing is just she found how to resolve her issue and how to move forward with her kids. So I just want to talk to her and hear about her. Okay, you're mute.
I'm muted
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
Okay. Hi, yes. I'm Selena Rothenberger, and I am a functional medicine practitioner as well as a health and wellness coach. And I got into this because of it kind of stemmed from the infertility you just mentioned. I had a child that was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes completely out of nowhere. And so that really shifted me into looking for answers because I thought we were doing everything right. We were doing things natural and organic and all of that, but there was something that we were still missing. And so that got me onto this path of functional medicine and functional immunology, nutrigenomics, and looking at everything and not just, certain different pieces of the puzzle.
Yes, thank you, Selena. Selena has a really nice website. What I really like about her website was that people can go there, assess themselves. She has a lot of tools for functional medicine assessment, and that's what I like. She's doing a great job. And Christy also. I love Christy. We had a lot of similarities. The thing we connect to each other was podcasting.
Yes.
And yeah, she has a great podcast.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, everybody, if you haven't heard about her podcast, she actually doing it for a long time, and she bring a lot of people there and give them a lot of exposure. Radiate wellness, right?
Radiate Wellness.
Yes,
And
radiate wellness.
you've been on it, Pantea.
Yes, I've been there. We had podcasts together, and she was in my podcast as well.
Yeah.
So as soon as we talk about her podcast and I listened to some episode, I said, I'm gonna have her in this book, because this is not only the physical body.
Right.
Yeah, and she talked about chakras, and I love this discussion. In my first book, Rules of Change for the Better, I have almost the same topic there. But she also talked about how different bodies and how different chronic pain actually can be related to your chakras and your energy.
Right. The energy that runs
Uh,
through our body.
can you first introduce yourself, Christy?
Absolutely. Yeah. Christy Clemens Hoffman. I am a QHHT practitioner, level 3, Reiki master, medical intuitive as well. And I'm a spiritual medium based in the Kansas City area. And yeah, I've been doing this work for a number of years. And what fascinates me and what I've always found is that what's going on in the body is a reflection of what we put into it from our thoughts and our emotions and the way that we react and believe about things. That this has a direct effect on, the chakra system, which has a direct effect on the physical part of the body. So that we find that different things within the body correspond to different thoughts and beliefs that we hold. So, for example, an illness in the neck or the thyroid may have to do with communication and feeling heard and feeling like we have a voice. So this is really my passion, is to help people understand that they are so much more than just their physical body, that their thoughts, their emotions, their beliefs about things really have a lot to do with how they live and how their body functions. Oh, Pantea, you're muted.
Sorry. So I said we're gonna get back to this discussion. I love chakra discussion. And now we have Dr. Tara Scott here. Uh,
Hello.
you're mute. Oh, you're not. Yeah, good. How are you today?
Good. Sorry
Good.
to be a little late.
So what we do right now, we just go through a circle and introduce ourselves. Yes, we're done with everybody.
Oh, so I'm up. Okay. So I'm Tara Scott. I'm a traditionally trained OBGYN. That's where I got my start. And through my own struggle with infertility, did further studying in hormones, first became a certified menopause practitioner with the North American Menopause Society. And then I went on and got a second board certification in functional medicine at the American Academy of Anti-Aging and Regenerative and Functional Medicine, and then a third in integrative medicine. And so I've been doing this I've been practiced like 30 years. And so I've been really focusing the last half of my practice just based on women's health and functional and integrative approach to gynecology.
Tara, when I read your chapter, I was like, oh my goodness, I missed it when I was pregnant, when I was going to be pregnant, because that chapter actually is a really great resource for everybody who has problem with fertility. And what I like again is you actually talk about different part like PCOS, into endometriosis, and you just imagine your body is not only physical. You have different parts that you have to interact. And the great thing I love about your chapter is the problem with later you discovered your brother that you could prevent, and that's really shook me, because what I thought is like there are lots of people here have chronic disease for a long time and they don't know how to prevent it or how to treat it. Maybe there are some genetic defects that we cannot actually heal, but still there are lots of chronic disease that will be created in our body. We build up after some time. So now we're gonna go back to everybody and we talk about this amazing topic, the gap. The reason I call it gap because we're gonna find the missing puzzle in the conventional medicine and holistic medicine, something that should be connected and is not right now. So many people don't know until they have problem, right? And the great thing that I try to bring different people in different field, like children, chronic disease, autoimmunity. We're going to talk about the regenerative medicine, breath work, and then also women health. So go back to Selena right now, and I'm going to ask her about her fertility issue first, because these two people very connected to each other. They work with each other, and I really want to know, when you have problem with fertility, what you have to do first, and what did you do and what you missed back then.
Yeah, for me, so the first thing to do, I think, is to really just take a step back and build a solid foundation. And the foundation is very different than what we were taught in traditional medicine or what is commonly, the common thinking. Stress, like de-stressing, like for us, that what solved kind of our fertility issues, it really boiled down to that stressful, getting away from the stressful situations, embracing laughter, getting into that parasympathetic, peaceful state. And in all ways, all those other things that we were doing, those little pieces all then kind of fit together, because it was everything in our body was allowed to do the things that needed to do to reproduce. Like, you won't reproduce if you are running from a lion, or your body even thinks that you are running from a lion. So for us, once we got into a scenario that wasn't just eating the right foods or doing the right things, but overall, like, our emotional health was super positive. I mean, it was just every aspect of our life was revolving around things that we enjoyed. We were living in great places. We had great jobs. We were able to take time to do fun things. And then we got pregnant. And so that would be the biggest thing that to stress to others, is looking at everything, but then also really focusing on, you have to have that energy. And I love the chapter about the energy, because the energy really makes a difference. And I talked about that with my son too, about that energy is a big catalyst in helping with fertility.
You know, no, we're gonna go back to Tara, but then I like to talk about children because the foundation of a chronic disease originates from fetus, like when you have the baby in your womb. And that's what I really want to talk about. So Tara, she already had her own problem with fertility, and then she has a story. We're not going to talk about the whole story now. You can go and read the book, but I just want to have this connection between the functional medicine for the functional medicine and fertility, and why she recommend her own way to for healing.
So again, as a traditionally trained doctor, we're taught, when someone has a problem, let's rule out cancer. Let's make sure you don't have a mass. And in the absence of one of those findings, you don't find the cause. You just give a solution. So I started having problems with my periods as a teenager. And the only solution that people are given are birth control pills. Even though I wasn't sexually active, didn't need them, that's all I was offered. And so there was a problem there that existed for the 10 years that I took those birth control pills that I didn't know about until I tried to get pregnant and couldn't. And again, the same thing happened is they had a list of things. Let's make sure the tubes are open. Let's make sure the sperm are okay. Let's make sure you're releasing an egg. Check, check, check. Oh, by the way, you have thyroid disease and you have positive thyroid antibodies. Here, take this medication. That's all. So at the time, I didn't know anything about integrative and functional medicine, and that's all I was offered. So even after that, there were so many, I think we had probably like 14 failed cycles or something like that. That's a lot of time and money to take medications. And, finally I ended up getting pregnant through in vitro. And so looking back after I went through my own journey, after having kids, I was still left with the same hormonal issues that I had previously. So that made me do a little bit further studying in it. And so for me, there was a problem with hormones. There was a problem with estrogen detoxification. I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, started to learn about the implications in my gut and everything, the connection to the gut, and also my genetics.
For my situation, because I had the same situation, so I can connect with you, with Tara and Selena, because everything was right. They said, oh, you don't have any problem. And, estrogen dominancy is always there for most women. And they try, because you have less progesterone, they give you progesterone and they think that that's it, you're going to be okay. It's not okay. Because I had other issues in my body. And then I went to acupuncture. The acupuncture said that you have liver issue. Because I never had pain or any symptoms for liver, I didn't know. So the estrogen didn't go out from my body, then it stayed there, and then it created a lot of problem in my body. I think Tara had a really great discussion about this. I go and read it because I love what she talked, and exactly connected those problems together.
And I hope that a lot of women are going to be able to pick up this book for all the different chapters that are in it, because there's so many women who are being told, like you said, there's nothing wrong with you. Take this, do this. There's nothing wrong with you. And now all these women are reaching out to me on social media, and we just need to advocate for them that they can find other therapies. Like Selena said, if it's more fun, more breathing, more meditation, controlling cortisol, diet, they're not offered any of that. It's like birth control or fertility drugs. And so that's why I'm really glad to be part of this team and this book, is because I'm hoping it reaches women who are struggling and told there's nothing else to be done.
The good thing about this book, I'm telling you, I'm not going to deny any medical doctors, because medical doctors are so important for all life. As you see, we have some medical doctors inside the book. The point is, your mind and spirit should be ready for the healing. That's the point. So if you are not ready, whatever medication you get is not going to work, right? So that's why we need a holistic medicine, and holistic medicine is not the perception of holistic medicine is like people thinking, oh, they do meditation, they do yoga, they don't think that what exactly holistic medicine is. So who is going to talk about holistic medicine, the definition about the holistic medicine? Maybe Daphne.
So for me, holistic is wholesome. I like the word wholesome, but it's basically, as you have mentioned, combining everything, the mind, body, soul, spirit, looking at the person through all aspects and taking care of a person like such. Because in my opinion, mind body connection really is at the center of all the healing processes. So and I am also, just like Tara mentioned, I'm very grateful to be part of this book with the other authors here, Selena, Christy, Tara, and Reed, other people who haven't joined us, because it's a great compilation of experience and perspectives that will be able to help people make hopefully better choices and fill the gap on their own in the beginning, maybe, and collectively in the future, hopefully, as providers and the community will be able to reshape the future of medicine, I'm hoping. So, part of this mind-body healing is, there are many modalities, but breathwork is one of them. And I actually have been a very poor breather, and I have come across an amazing breathwork session in an online functional medicine conference. One of our mentors actually held a breathwork session that was over an hour to about 160, I believe, or more functional medicine providers, all at the same time. It was a very profound experience. And I didn't know what to expect. And when I got into it, we started with a little bit of a music and shaking, stirring up the energy, which I love energy, by the way. I think energy is the number one topic that should be talked about. And after we stirred up all our energy, we kind of settled down and we did some literally series of breathing exercises. Breathwork is actually essentially a set of exercises that will enable us to get into a certain state and enable us to have a mind, body, spirit wellness, if you will. So it's really exercises, just like you do get on the treadmill and run or walk fast or up the hill. Breathwork is kind of like that. So in that essence, it's not exactly like yoga or meditation. So you're purposefully breathing faster. So we went through a series of exercises and then we went into a meditation. And I never forget that it was based on Ho'oponopono. And I had a breakthrough through that session. It was emotionally overwhelming. And that's how I actually went in through I thought to myself, I have to learn more about this. I got to learn. I got to share this knowledge. And so that's how I got into it. For me, this is part of the holistic medicine. There's so many ends to pick from. Energy is a huge element. It's a wholesome medicine. We can't ignore these elements anymore. Conventional medicine is sure to catch up on this. It's going to be some time.
Exactly.
But yeah, I am personally one of those people who thought holistic medicine is just a weird medicine, maybe.
because
I'm
people
guilty
don't know
as such.
exactly. The point is not only a spirit and body and mind, is all the pieces in the body. Like you go to a specialist, let's say fertility specialist, and they said, okay, did you check for PCOS, endometriosis, or did you check your tubes? They're not going to go through your other parts of your body, asthma. And what is not related to them, right? But it is because it's a blocker. Everything in your body is a blocker. So that's why we've been introduced to functional medicine. And I was so lucky to have you guys in my podcast, because then I realized I'm missing something in my own fertility coaching. I couldn't do too much because I was really curious to see how I can analyze labs, and the labs in conventional medicine is not enough to check the whole markers. So that's why I was interested. I studied functional medicine, and I love it. I love it. Now I can connect to you because when you talk about the labs and all the pieces, I can understand what you're talking about. And now go back to Christy. What I like again about the Christy chapter is talking about the emotions, how emotions can actually trigger different part of your body.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about it? And
Yeah.
how can you define holistic medicine in your uh, I mean, how can you yeah.
Well, just like Dr. Daphne said, it's the whole. We're looking at the whole. So not just the physical body, but the thoughts and beliefs that go into the physical body, what creates the whole person. And I do believe that we have to look at our mental states, but also our beliefs and our stress levels too, to determine, best outcomes for the physical body. So I found during my work over the past several years that there are certain parts of the body that correspond to different types of beliefs. For example, the left side of the body can represent beliefs about mother, sister, important women in our life, but also our own femininity and our past and our receiving and whether we're able to receive. The right side of the body is about the important males in our life, our masculine side, our action-oriented side, and the present moment. None of that is actually in my chapter, so you'll have to hit me up to find out more about that. But I found that the body is a very effective message system. And when you read my chapter, you'll see that I do outline the different chakras and what beliefs and emotional qualities are governing each chakra, and then what physical structures and functional structures are governed by each chakra, so that we find out the thoughts and beliefs that coordinate with different physical ailments and disease. So also in my chapter, I have a model for healing that I like to talk to my clients about, where we have to look at not only the physical things, we have a physical body, so we need to do labs and blood work and the different physical type of interventions. But we also have to look at the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions behind these conditions. And in that way, we can achieve more total healing and more complete healing. So if we're only looking at the physical aspect of it, we can reach healing, but we're creating these conditions as we go with what we're putting into our mind and what we're putting into our system, our energy system. But if we only look at the energetic and the emotional side of it, then we'll achieve healing as well. But it's taken so many years to get to this point in disease or illness that it could take just as long to work at undoing that energy. So we really have to work together. And I really like working with functional medicine doctors, integrative medicine doctors, all types of different specialists, because I think what we do together is so much stronger when
Exactly.
we're looking at what is contributing to disease or illness.
In my previous book, PTSD Compass, we had the same discussion. Because PTSD, post trauma, really affect your body. And the great thing about the functional medicine is just relate this PTSD to your body, because we always analyze the cortisol, right? And the interesting point is, like, if you go to somebody who doesn't believe in mind and body connection and ask him, okay, can you check my cortisol level? He's gonna laugh. That's the same with me. Like, I knew that because I in my education with the functional medicine, I knew that there is something wrong. And I asked him, and he said, you're not sick enough to check the cortisol. Is not really related. But then in functional medicine, I did it, and I said, no, that was the problem. you know so that's why everything is kind of related. I'm gonna go to Tara and ask her what kind of test you do even before. I mean, uh, go back to here. You did all the tests for the farm for your own fertility patients, like the conventional one. What other tests and actions do you recommend to other people?
Well, believe it or not, when I went through my infertility workup, I don't really think they did a hormone workup. I mean, they checked my thyroid, but they weren't looking for a progesterone deficiency, like you said. They were just looking to make sure that when we look at fertility labs, you're looking at day 3 of the menstrual cycle, which is looking at egg quality and something called ovarian reserve, which just means, do you have a lot of eggs left? Is there any reason just to believe that there is or isn't ovulation? And then they check the tubes and those kind of thing. And they threw a TSH in there, which is only part of the thyroid issue. So if I would have done, for example, a dried urine test on myself back then, that includes all of the cortisol evaluation, cortisone evaluation, your B6, B12 status, an oxidative stress marker. It also looks at your female hormones, your adrenal hormones, how you metabolize your estrogen. That would be the test that would really have shown a lot of my issues. And still today, like I said, I don't believe there's a thorough hormone evaluation. It's being done on the wrong day. We can start with traditional blood tests that you can get at any lab in the country, a hospital lab, a national lab, and a lot of it, the traditional testing may be covered on your insurance, depending on your lab deductible and everything. And it's just knowing what to order when. That would be a good screening test. And then after we do the Dutch test that looks at how you detoxify your estrogen, if I suspect there are some genetic components, I send my patients to Selena to evaluate their genomics and to look to see what are the markers what are the enzymes that are flawed or the pathways that are flawed that just have some subtle nuances that aren't functioning well. And then those are the type of things that we'll look at trying to maximize, in addition to mind body, stress relief. I need to look a little bit more about the motions, Christy. I think I'm super interested in finding more about, I'll be honest, I probably, that's not on my radar as a traditionally trained doctor, and I'm probably neglecting it. So that would probably be a big, huge piece. For me, looking back, I had some childhood trauma that I didn't really realize was trauma at the time until I had a really physical trauma. Then I started studying trauma. So that's a lot of the things that now I would have done had I known what I know now.
Beautiful. You see how we are all connected. You cannot separate any part of the body from each other. And then that's why we refer people to others. Because as you see, as a specialist, you may need someone else to look at the spiritual side, or you may need someone to look at the genomics, because it's not only the fertility, you may have other issues. So interesting part for me here with the Tara and Daphne, they both studied regenerative medicine, right? And I have another author there, Dr. Jordana Quinn. She did the same thing, and I'm really curious about this specialty. Why did you study regenerative medicine, Daphne?
Oops, I unmuted myself. Okay, great. So yes, I have been trained about 12 years ago or so, and back then there weren't many options. Functional medicine was one option, I think, which I was aware much later on. A4M, which is standing for American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, actually covers all functional, metabolic, regenerative medicine. It has a whole spectrum. So that was my exposure. That's what I have come across. And I think they're very good. And they apparently have started the education module after functional medicine. So they're very much alike. There are a lot of overlapping trainings. And so I wouldn't say one is better than the other per se. And so it was more about really looking for different avenues in terms of filling the gap between, wellness and chronic illness, what's going on in this process, preventing symptoms, and being able to optimize life. So that's how I got into the training. Of course, once you get into this world, then you get to learn, oh my God, there's so much more to learn. And where do I pick from? So I shifted towards the mind body, and actually energy is it's in my radar. It's big for me right now. I'm in the breath work right now, but it's just so big, so vast. Um, I don't think it really matters if it were to be called regenerative or functional or metabolic. They're all overlapping, and we're all really
Exactly.
out there to kind of like help people and reshape the future of medicine.
So what was your, Tara, what was your inspiration to go to regenerative medicine?
So there are many tracks within that. Like she's right. There's an aesthetic track, there's a stem cell track, and then there's the metabolic medicine, and that's the track that I did within A4M. And so the biggest thing for me was, as you kind of mentioned, 14 years ago, my brother at the age of 38 had a heart attack and suddenly passed away. And so it was a shock to everybody. And I remember kind of waiting for the autopsy results. And when I looked at it, he had every risk factor for heart disease, and it was a totally preventable death. And so it made a profound change on me. I felt like, I mean, although I really love delivering babies and everything, I felt like there's got to be a better way to be preventative. And so, I was basically doing a lot of hormones and women's health, but by doing that type of fellowship, it really expanded my knowledge base. And as Dr. Daphne said, the more you learn, the less you know, right? And so I learned more about not only adrenal, thyroid, but also your gut and your cardiometabolic, and a little bit more about energy. Not a lot about energy, but I definitely learned a lot. And I'm a lifelong student, and that was 14 years ago, and I'm continuing to get more and more training as well. So I think if we focused on prevention a little bit more, I don't really think we have healthcare. We have sick care, because you have to have a diagnosis first and then you can get treated. But if you have chronic symptoms, whether it's fatigue, whether it's some kind of pain, we rule out the big things, and then you still exist in that disease state until you can get a diagnosis and then a treatment algorithm. So I think for me, I shifted a lot for wellness in my practice, with an emphasis on women's hormones and women's health. But we do quite a bit of, prevention in our office because of that history.
Yeah, exactly. Preventive is better than just waiting for the symptoms. That's the point with the cancer, especially because I lost few of my own close relatives uh, due to cancer. And then I was like, oh, maybe they could be healed, right? Because they fought, I saw they're fighting with cancer for a long time. Their body tried to get back, and it didn't. So I see right now, if they knew that they are in exhaustive mode, they are very exhaustive, they are very exhausted, and they when these symptoms are there, it's too late, right? Because even before those symptoms, you are exhausted, you have some problem, but because you can still uh, move your body and you don't have any specific pain, so you may say, okay, it's okay, but it's not. So it's good to prevent before even happens. I don't say that you have to check everything all the time, because some people are so fussy. My mother used to work in hospital, and every ward she went, she had the same symptoms. She was a supervisor in hospital. She has to go to uh, different wards, and she always thought she's sick. So that's a problem. And then I also read Daphne chapter. The good thing about her was about ER, emergency room. She worked in a very stressful situation for a long time. And that's the problem with so many medical doctors, especially during this COVID. We had this issue, and I tried to point it out in my book, PTSD Compass. And stress working in somewhere that people need you is so demanding. It really needs a lot of energy. Right? And sometimes you just try to understand that you are the one to take care of yourself in the first place. Even as a mom, that you are very busy with your babies and raising them and taking care of them, you need to take care of yourself at the first place. So uh, we almost done. It's we have few minutes to go over everybody again, and just I just wanna, the purpose of this book is really, really to understand that there is hope. There is hope, even if you are struggling with a chronic disease. If you have a chronic pain like what I had, like asthma, you don't need to have asthma. You don't need to take your puffer all the time, because people saying, okay, this gives me a very temporary relief. Let's just have it. And then after some time you see, okay, maybe if I do something about it, maybe if I change my diet, if I have more um, holistic approach to my asthma, I will be healed. That's what I did, and it really worked. Like with the functional medicine, I really found that this is something in there. Because as Reed Davis said, we missed him here because he's not here. He actually talked about the whole approach of functional medicine, and he said we're not gonna diagnose something, right? We're not gonna diagnose it, but we try to find a healing opportunity in your body, and everybody has their own um, a specific diet and a specific customized plan. That's the problem with some diet program, because they give the diet to everybody, like a fertility diet. These foods are good for your fertility, but your body has problem. You have gut issues. You cannot digest this diet very well. Maybe you have to look at this body in another perspective. Is not just eating the good food if you cannot digest it. So in this book also we have Fiona Mao, and she is a nurse practitioner, and also she's functional medicine practitioner as well. She specifically talk about autoimmunity and children chronic disease, as Selena does. So at the end, I really wish to have these people here and say, first, I'm very, very grateful to have you in this chapter. I was really amazed for the whole process, because I read the chapter a few times. And every time I read it, I said, wow, that's something. Because it really tried to connect different part of the missing puzzle. And I really wish you to read this, if even if you don't have chronic disease, because you don't know what's going to happen in future, right? And now I'm going to ask everybody, give us one last sentence of how we can inspire others, even if they are very sick and they don't have any hope. we who is going to go first?
I'll go
First?
first.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I just want everyone to know that you are much more powerful than you know. You are much more than you know. The thoughts, the emotions, the beliefs that you hold create your energy, and you are a powerful creator being.
Beautiful. Yes, you are. And one of the things that is fear. When you are sick, you are afraid of losing, you're afraid of dying, or but there are a lot of great healing opportunity there. You can assess your body, whole body, and see what can I change there. And it's not only body, it's PTSD, it's trauma. If you have anything in your childhood, in your family, if you had abuse in your childhood, everything is kind of related. Okay, who is going to go first? Next. Tara?
So I think my last tidbit would be I really always try to be someone to give people hope by advocating for them. And, my fertility struggle was 20 years ago. We didn't have maybe the internet was around. I'm not really sure. There certainly wasn't social media. And I certainly wouldn't be able to find out about a book like this unless I happened to be in the right section at Barnes and Nobles and walking through, right? So we're so fortunate today's day and age, that we have all the social media, all the internet, all the channels that patients can get more information and advocate for themselves. So they can locate the providers that are going to come alongside and advocate with them and give them the tools they need to foster their hope and get them the answers that they need. Because they can, as Christy said, they're in charge of their destiny and they're in charge of their health. And so they just need to claim it.
Beautiful. Selena?
Sure. Yep. So my final thought would be to embrace that instinct as a mom and what I went through. My instinct, I kept coming up against a wall, and I just want to, encourage you that you can make it through, and to not give up following that instinct, following that drive, because there are answers and there are other practitioners. I mean, every author, when I read the book, was like amazed that there's answers no matter where you are at. Keep going for that, because you will find them. And that to believe that instinct and to trust and embrace that instinct.
Exactly, instinct, a motherly instinct. Because something wrong with your baby, maybe, but others saying, no, she's fine, is not. If you feel that there is something wrong, even with yourself, go and check it. And there are lots of modalities. That's the purpose of this book. And see what your heart's saying, because I was not really connected with all modalities. I'm telling you, like I'm these modalities in my book is all the one I really connected. Like functional medicine really speaks to me, and now I know about the regenerative medicine, energy work. It really works. But the communication, I know that if you have problem with communication, then you're gonna have some problem in your body as well. So everything in your body. And but you have to think, like myself, when I was doing the fertility journey, I had a fertility journey. I was trying to find a way for holistic medicine. I knew meditation is good, but still I was very unclear about different modalities. That's why I had fertility book, Naturally Conceived, and this one is, again, that's the continuation of that book. We try to suggest you different modalities, and you have to choose by your heart that there is a way and there is hope. So this book is now available in Amazon. But I prefer you purchase it tomorrow, as I said, because I'm working on categories. You can buy the book, read it, and leave us review and enjoy the book. And the paperback gonna be soon, but right now we are just launching the ebook. If you have any comments, anything to add, please do. We
I'd like
still.
to add my last sentence as well. And thank you, Pantea, for.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you.
Oh, that's all right. Thank
Sorry.
you for this brilliant compilation of perspectives and experiences. It's amazing. I'm so excited to be part of this book project with all of you here. And I think with our current health system lagging, I think it's upon us, providers, and everybody else, all of us, to create awareness and seek these modalities and consistently seek for a better and newer and wholesome approach altogether.
I may add something here. Now, for four of you are here. Can you give me a few sentences about the collaboration in this book? So we're gonna start with Tara. Hang on. Yeah, hang on. If you talk, you go on air.
Okay, so you want, can you repeat the question a few seconds about the collaboration?
Yes, collaboration of the book. Yeah. Like, how do you feel as an author right now?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know the point of the question. So I feel, I mean, obviously very glad that there are different aspects of medicine within this same book. And so I think they're all complementary to at least my journey, what everybody else has been talking about. So I think it's a really good mix and a really good blend, again, highlighting the importance of integrative just being integrating other modalities, and functional being the approach to medicine, looking for the root cause. So taking into the energy medicine, the emotional medicine, the breath work, the autoimmune approach, the genomics and the hormones, all of that ties together. So I feel, very proud of it, to be associated with everybody, and
Thank
thankful
you so
for
much,
the
Tara.
experience.
And I'm really honored to have you there. And the good thing about this book is not only facts, I try to simplify it because these guys are so knowledgeable and they have a lot of knowledge. And I try to make it somehow to be understandable for the public. And the good thing is they have their own stories inside the book. So it's not only information, it's stories, real stories that may actually happen to you as well. So, Daphne, what was your experience being inside the book?
It's a wonderful experience. As I mentioned, I'm so grateful to you for bringing us together to put our expertise and perspectives again. I read the book. I kind of skimmed through. I was fast in some chapters, but I was at every chapter. I am really, really grateful again to be part of this with all these beautiful um, inputs and aspects of this functional plus mind body healing and energy, everything all together. So it is a great collaboration, and I wasn't sure what it's going to be here, who's going to be here. So I'm happy that you brought us together. The end product is wonderful. So, and I'm proud of this, and I'd like to look for more collaboration in future as well.
Okay, Christy. I love Christy. She's awesome. She's very detail oriented. She was in publishing before, and I learned so much from her. I'm so happy to have her inside the book.
Well, that's very kind. Yes, I was in publishing for 14 years, and now I'm doing my passion, which I love. So I was thrilled to have the opportunity to write in such a compilation. I've always held that energy healing is akin to any other type of healing and should be in the mix with healing modalities. And so it was wonderful to be included in this anthology of so many wonderful and respected healing masters that we can look at the energy system alongside the endocrine, the structural system, the respiratory system, and all of the other systems of the body. So I'm very excited for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Christy. What about you, Selena?
Just like the others, I'm very honored and proud to be part of the group. When I was wasn't sure how it was going to really look in the end. In the beginning, I was like, okay, but after reading the book, it's like it covers every part of the, that holistic approach. And so there are so many things, no matter where somebody is at, it seems like the book can speak to you. And I think that's really hard to do in the functional medicine world or anywhere in the holistic world, is you have these niches or these certain things, but this book covers everything and, it can be helpful for everyone. So it's just an honor to be part of that work and to help contribute to that. And I would love to, the other collaboration like this is just amazing. So looking forward to it as well in the future.
Thank you so much, and thank you for everyone who listens to this book launch. I really wish whoever who has struggled with this chronic pain, whether it's in fertility, autoimmunity, or whatever, can find this book and read through. And it's not only book. You can connect with these amazing people. There are lots of information there, and we're gonna continue promoting the book We're going to have summit. We're going to have course out of the book, because these amazing people, I couldn't just leave them there, because they are very knowledgeable. I said it's better I can have this collection and give more opportunity to others to read and learn and really understand the concept of holistic medicine, and to see that even medical doctors believe in mind and body connection. They are amazing, and they actually connected to this purpose, that our body is not only physical. We are doing our best to serve you, and hopefully you can find this book and read it through. Thank you so much for being here.